Hi, I'm Jala Kader and welcome to Buckingham News Live at 5. Predictions that half the British population will be obese by 2050 underestimate the scale of the obesity crisis, according to a report by the National Obesity Forum. The UK is in danger of surpassing predictions of a 2007 report which estimated that 50% of the nation would be obese by 2050. So, is Buckingham set to become a borough full of bloaters? Yumna Najdi headed downtown to take a calorie count.
Oi, fatso, a statement that wouldn't be too far away from home here, as shocking new data has been released by Public Health England revealing the true scale of obesity here in Buckingham, where 60% of adults in the Buckingham area have been classed as overweight or obese. The National Obesity Forum has called for GPs across the country to discuss weight management with their patients, as rising figures have exceeded the nation's expectations. Do you agree with these figures?
But certainly we do appear to have more people now that appear to be overweight than we did maybe 10, 20 years ago.
And from your own personal experience, do you find that a lot of students here are proactive? Do a lot of them come to the gym?
I would be certain that as a percentage participation of students that are physically active and participate in fitness activities, we probably have a lot higher level of participation than other universities.
Slimming World is a program based on a healthy lifestyle. It encourages people to integrate healthy foods into their diet without depriving themselves.
It's about educating people into healthy eating so that it's reduced fat, reduced sugar, and naturally you're reducing your weight. And also then it's family-friendly foods that you don't sit and have a diet plate that everybody else can eat at the same time.
Battling obesity doesn't have to be expensive, and alternatives are indeed provided by nutritionists and doctors through the NHS.
And word's getting out there, doctors can do referrals, they can refer people to Slimming World so they can access it for free. So financially that shouldn't be an issue. So as far as I'm concerned, we'll just keep getting the message out there and keep tackling it.
Buckingham's numbers may seem small in comparison to Aylesbury's 64% and Milton Keynes' outrageous 75%. However, doctors remain concerned by the national trend of rising obesity levels. Yumna Najdi, Buckingham News.
A row has broken out between the Students' Union and the university after a trip to a London nightclub was cancelled because of health and safety concerns. The trip was put on hold when it was deemed that the safety of students could not be guaranteed. The decision comes following the appointment of a new health and safety officer at the university. Leonie Pulch has the story.
Drugs and alcohol are substances which students are young to have to deal with at some point in university life. It can be as harmless as being way to the pub, but some students may be in situations where classified drugs have been used. It could not be guaranteed that students would only have licensed alcohol and not run the risk of being offered drugs. So the clubbing trip to London on the 8th of March has been cancelled. There have been conflicting statements to the students about the future of clubbing trips.
The recent emails which have been sent out to Buckingham students regarding the cancellation of trips have caused confusion. David Billington clarified the situation.
There was no decision taken to cancel future trips. I didn't want the student body to get the opinion that we had taken, without consultation, any sort of decision to cancel the whole load of trips. That simply had not happened.
With health and safety legislations changing every year, different precautions have to be taken care of. The University of Buckingham's new health and safety advisor is taking charge of these issues.
A group of us had a discussion about it, and then we decided there weren't actually enough control measures put in place for us to actually be able to put the University of Buckingham name towards a trip like that.
A meeting on Friday with the student union will decide which trips will be available to students in the future.
So Buckingham News have been informed that the Students' Union will endeavour to not cancel future clubbing trips and stresses that although health and safety guidelines may be stringent, they are only in place to ensure the students' well-being. This is Leonie Pulch, Buckingham News.
The recent weather has badly damaged roads throughout the Buckingham area. Many members of the public are unhappy with the deteriorating quality of the road surfaces. Elliot Beverley had the chance to ask Councillor Martin Phillips what was being done to improve road conditions.
It's very hard to drive through Buckingham without encountering roads covered in potholes. Roads such as Station Road, have been particularly affected, but other roads include the busy A421 and also housing estates.
Councillor Martin Phillips gave us an insight into what is being done to improve the roads.
It's a county-wide problem with the weather we've been having. It's really weird. I mean, the last 2 winters have been really cold and frosty, and that's broken up the surface. Now we're finding the wet winters breaking up the surface, and basically the roads aren't fit for purpose any longer. 4 years ago, the roads repair budget was 4 million, and now we're running, I think this year will be 15 million, and we put some more emergency money in. If we can find some in the budget, if we can make more savings, more money will go in that direction.
Many members of the public also feel the roads are in a bad condition.
There's lots of potholes, yes, and quite big ones, yes.
Well, I live in Chindrick, and if you want the opinion of those, Stockley's Lane is disgusting, appalling, but I think that Mr Cameron, who said he's got unlimited money, had better put some out where it's needed.
Came in on the bus from Aylesbury, and some of the bumps we went through really shook your bones, and anybody with a bad back would have certainly a lot worse back the time they go off the bus with these roads. They are really very, very bad.
With £65 million being invested into the roads in the next 4 years, let's hope the conditions improve. This is Elliot Beverley, Buckingham News.
In other news, last week we reported that Stagecoach was considering moving the X5 bus stop back to Tesco on London Road. Commuters can breathe a collective sigh of relief as the site of the stop will not be changed. Stagecoach representative Zoe Paget said that despite being 3 metres longer, the new buses will fit into the stop and that all other issues have been resolved. Artisan coffee shop Gyre & Gimble has recently expanded into the world of superheroes. In addition to their assorted selections of tea, coffee and local delicacies, Aylesbury's Dead Universe Comics now provides them with popular titles such as DC, Marvel and much more, such as Batman 66. Look out for Captain Americano in the near future. 2 weeks ago, Buckingham News was the first to report on the mountain of rubbish that was left to decompose outside Mill House on Nelson Street. Now the growing health hazard has finally been removed after increasing pressure on the council. Initial reports that students were to blame were unfounded, and AVDC Community Spaces Manager Gareth Bird stated that 5 offenders have been identified. The Radcliffe Centre is known for its cultural extravaganza of classical music, engaging lectures on a wide variety of subjects, and performances by talented musicians, academics and experts. This week, however, saw the venue hosting a performance with a very special dedication. Queenie Sheikh was there to find out more.
Music, art and poetry were the order of the evening at the Radcliffe Centre, but it is just not for enjoyment. It is also to commemorate the tragic passing of one of Buckingham's most loved community members. The late Professor Alan Brooke was a Professor of Life Sciences at the University of Buckingham and later the Dean of Science. Following his retirement from the university in 1989, Alan played a very active role in the community life of the Buckingham area, particularly in the musical arena. He was awarded an MBE in 2003 for his services to the community. Sadly, he recently passed away, and the Preludes and Promenades concert was put on in his honor. Why is the concert such an appropriate way to honor Professor Alan Brooke?
Professor Brooke was one of the people who set up the university, and his overriding lifelong passion was music. And he was a great supporter of the arts, and therefore I think a world premiere of something quite new, because he was quite with it, that sort of fused technical things, scientific things, and music and art together, I think is a very good way to honour somebody, particularly somebody like him. I've only heard people say good things about him, and that means somebody is a good man when you only hear good things.
The concert was a multimedia performance featuring piano music accompanied by readings and projected images of illustrated artwork. Pianist Anthony Hewitt was joined by eminent actress Suzanne Porritt in a performance of Mazorsky's masterpiece, and the original artwork came from illustrator Clara Smith. Professor Brooke's wife also paid a touching tribute.
I don't feel miserable about losing Alan. I just feel very grateful for having shared 30-odd years with him, and for his introducing me to wonderful music like this.
It is clear that an inspired performance took place here this evening at the Radcliffe Centre, and it was dedicated to a very inspiring man. This is Queenie Sheikh for Buckingham News.
And now over to sports with Alex.
Thank you, Jala. 569 years after a local woman began the tradition by running to church with a frying pan, the Only Pancake race drew crowds of tourists to the area once again for the annual event. Kevin Mulindwa was there.
On Shrove Tuesday, every year, the ladies of Olney compete in the world-famous Pancake race, a tradition which dates back to 1445. The race this year was held on Tuesday, 4th March. Children from Olney schools also took part in the race before the main event. Olney competes every year against women of liberal Kansas, USA. This is a friendly competition in its 65th year in 2014. The women of Olney have beaten the women from across the pond for the last 2 years and are looking forward to the chance to make it 3.
Julie and I are doing it three-legged, as you can see, we're attached to one another. We're just raising some money for the local infant school. It's Julie's first time, I've done it a couple of times before. Yeah, we're not expecting to win any prizes, Julie and I, and with all the runners have got tags on their shoe this year, so the timing is very official.
The race originates from a story about a housewife dashing to the town's church after hearing the bells, still clutching a frying pan containing a pancake. The story continues to attract thousands of tourists each year.
On your marks, get set, go, and clear!
The race started at 11:55 a.m. with a crowd of around 4,000 spectators filling the town centre. With a time of 55 seconds, the race winner Devon Byrne beat her winning time last year by half a second, setting a new record. However, she felt more comfortable running this year than in the last.
I don't feel as bad this year as I did last year. It was a bit of a shock, but there was a lot more pressure this year after winning last year. So,
are you going to compete next year?
I'm not allowed. You're only allowed to win 3 times, and then you're not allowed to compete anymore. So,
the race went smoothly with all participants finishing the race. The Olney Pancake race has never failed to bring people to the town, as well as bring the people of Olney closer together. The curtain now closes on yet another successful race. Kevin Mulindwa, Buckingham News.
Sport is an integral part of university life, with students across the country taking part daily. With a high number of students now interested in sport at the University of Buckingham, plans are now underway to improve the sports programme for the next term. Jovan Djordjevic has the story.
Over the last term, sports at the university has allowed students to keep fit and engaged. But what have students got to look forward to with regards to sports next term? The university is always looking to improve sports and increase student participation, as it leads to the development of social and physical capabilities. These attempts are met with increasing success, as each sporting society continues to grow, to the delight of the society presidents.
Well, a lot happened this term, but we're looking forward to next term. Hopefully when the weather picks up, then we'll get a lot more people coming in and it'll be good.
The cheerleaders have a lot to look forward to, since we have loads of competition lined up.
Yeah, the football team have a new side formed. We've been very happy and we're looking forward to the next season.
Sports officer Callum Roberts is satisfied with how university sport has improved over the last term.
So this term for the Sports Society, we had our first Sports Society party, which involved all the sports clubs getting together and socialising and creating a school spirit, which was successful. We've also had a new club join the fold. Rugby have now become an official sports club within the university, so congratulations to them. Next term, I am hoping to increase the number of competitive fixtures for our core sports teams. That's football, basketball, netball, and cheerleading.
If you're looking to get involved in next term's sports program, you can contact the sports office. Jovan Djordjevic, Buckingham News.
And that's it for sport. Back to the studio.
The great and the good of University Life convened on Wednesday to see the unveiling of a portrait of Lord Tanlaw, the outgoing Chancellor. The Liberal peer has had a long connection with the university and has made an enormous contribution to the restoration of Prebend House and, of course, Tanlaw Mill. His portrait will now hang alongside the likes of Baroness Thatcher, Lord Hogg and Sir Martin Jacob. Holly Knowles went for a closer look.
The portrait of Sir Martin Jacob was created in 2011. It is of the most importance to the University of Buckingham. With Lord Tanlaw succeeding his position as Chancellor in September 2010, we now have a new portrait to be placed on the university's wall.
His association with the university began much earlier, however, in his generous £1 million donation and his chairmanship of the Buildings Committee.
And particularly, of course, Lord and Lady Tanlaw's guests.
Shining light is on earth, and life is as sweet as honey.
And that's what it's about today for me. So thank you for that.
The Tanlaw Mill already bears his name, but there could be no greater honour than a portrait by award-winning artist Paul Emsley.
They become a disparate image and it doesn't hang together, it doesn't look right.
The unveiling of the portrait of Lord Tanlaw closes a chapter in the history of the University of Buckingham. It opens the doors for the new Chancellor, Lady Keswick, to present her view and to further the University of Buckingham as an educational institution at its highest calibre. Holly Knowles, Buckingham News.
Thank you for watching Buckingham News. Have a great day.